Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about creatine, probably one of the most studied supplements in the entire world. We are going to bust a huge gym myth, and then we're going to talk about a benefit that honestly has nothing to do with building muscle at all.
But seriously, what if I told you that a core piece of advice, something you hear in pretty much every gym, might be completely, totally unnecessary? We're going to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to use the latest science to do it.
All right, let's get right into it. The biggest piece of gym lore, the one you hear everywhere, is this idea that you absolutely have to cycle your creatine. You know, take it for a few weeks, then stop for a bit. If you've ever even been near a weight room, someone's probably told you this. But why? Where did this idea even come from?
The whole practice is pretty straightforward. You're on it for a while, then you're off it. And look, I get it. It sounds like it makes sense, and it probably comes from a good place. But the real question we have to ask is there any actual evidence to back this up, or is it just one of those myths that just refuses to go away?
Okay, so let's try to understand the logic here. The whole theory behind why you should cycle is built on a few key arguments that have been passed around locker rooms for years and years.
So the core idea goes something like this. Your body gets used to having this constant supply of creatine, so over time it just becomes less effective. Cycling, in theory, is supposed to reset your system. That way, when you start taking it again, bam, you get that big initial boost all over again. At least, that's the theory.
And this whole idea leads to a pretty strict schedule, right? You start with a high-dose loading phase to fill up your muscles fast, then you drop to a lower maintenance dose for about 7 weeks, then you stop completely for a week or two, and then start the whole process over again. It's a routine a lot of people follow religiously.
But here is the million-dollar question. Does this common gym wisdom actually hold up to scientific scrutiny? I mean, with a supplement that's been researched as heavily as this one, you would expect the answer to be pretty clear. And as it turns out, it is.
So let's see what the actual evidence has to say about all this. It's time to put the gym myth up against years and years of clinical research.
And well, the verdict is pretty overwhelming. The leading experts and just the mountain of scientific literature all agree. For most healthy people, cycling creatine is completely unnecessary. The main arguments for it just aren't supported by the data.
The reason why all comes down to this one key concept, muscle saturation. Okay, think of your muscles kind of like a sponge. The whole goal of taking creatine is to completely soak that sponge. Once it's full, or saturated, all you need is a small daily dose to keep it topped off. Taking a break just lets the sponge dry out, which forces you to go through the whole process of re-soaking it all over again. And when researchers actually compare cycling to just continuous use, the results are crystal clear. The group taking creatine every day maintains high, stable levels in their muscles. And what does that lead to? More consistent performance gains, and even better recovery. Meanwhile, the group that's cycling sees their levels go up and down, which in the end just diminishes the benefits.
So the science is pretty much settled. A simple daily dose is the best strategy if you're looking for physical performance. But what's really fascinating is that the benefits of this consistent approach don't just stop at your muscles. In fact, some of the most exciting new research is happening somewhere else entirely. That's because some of the most exciting research on creatine today has absolutely nothing to do with your muscles. It has everything to do with your brain.
So get this, a huge meta-analysis that came out in 2024 looked at 16 different randomized controlled trials. They compiled all that data to see what effect, if any, creatine has on cognitive function in adults. And well, the findings were pretty remarkable.
The analysis found a really striking consistency in the benefits. They saw statistically significant improvements across 3 critical areas of brain function: memory, processing speed, and even attention.
So just how big was this effect? Well, for memory, the study found a clear and statistically significant positive impact. To put that simply, across all those different trials, the groups taking creatine consistently performed better on memory tests than the groups that didn't. Simple as that.
And the effect on processing speed was even more pronounced. This data shows a significant reduction in the time it took for people to complete cognitive tasks. In simple terms, creatine literally helped their brains work measurably faster. Okay, so with all this new info, busting the cycling myth and uncovering these cognitive benefits, what's the smartest, most evidence-based way to actually take creatine?
It's incredibly simple. You can do an optional loading phase if you want to saturate your muscles as fast as humanly possible, but the most crucial part, the key takeaway, is step 2, a consistent daily maintenance dose of just 3 to 5 grams,
No breaks, no cycling, no complicated schedules.
So, to sum it all up, just remember these best practices. Consistency is everything. Take it daily. Stick with the classic creatine monohydrate. It's the most proven form. Stay well hydrated, and know that for healthy individuals, extensive research confirms it's safe for long-term, continuous use.
So, we've busted a major myth and revealed that one of the world's most popular supplements is a powerful tool for both the body and the brain. It's not just about getting one more rep in the gym. It could be about sharper memory and faster thinking. The only real question left is, what could you do with that kind of boost?